As the day of reckoning draws near, more and more gameplay and teasers of Sonic Frontiers have made their rounds, causing the landscape for its discussion to rapidly shift towards a much more positive direction. Go figure, having professionally edited trailers with a mix of cutscenes and 60 FPS gameplay to some hard rock would get people more hyped than not doing that. The music really was what grabbed my attention recently. It's a powerful medium. Forces was a step in the right direction with Infinite's theme returning us to the AMV, but I'm Here has one of the tastiest riffs the franchise has had in a while. Otani even said he's using a 9 string on it. I thought it was a 7, maybe an 8, but no. The man said we have to go lower. And I've already heard Vandalize like 20 times since it came out. Never before has Sonic indulged in the emo power chord rock, and it fits so well. The main island music has been isolated and sounds just as beautiful as I remembered. There's a mature tranquility in the soft piano and strings that hooks me, but is by no means upbeat. It's a serious track that pairs wonder with caution. It's like Mortar Canyon without the synth. And while not the best quality yet, the cyberspace music is where we can expect to hear the high-energy beats we look for in this character. I was surprised that vocals were being used in regular stages again like in the avatars. I don't know if they'll all be like this, but it sounds pretty catchy so far. Not that I had any doubts about the music being good, but Forces and Lost World weren't quite up to the standard I hold the franchise to musically, so I had my concerns. Thankfully, that has been fairly dashed away. Vandalize especially left me with a giant grin from start to finish, to the point where I've come to the conclusion that Sonic Frontiers has to be good now. I'm no longer giving it permission to be anything less. You have successfully hyped me up, Sega, and now you gotta follow through. That is a direct order. Even if it ends up being a 7 out of 10, I can live with that. It could pave the way for an even better sequel that builds upon this new foundation. Anything could happen. Graphically, I was already sold, but it just keeps looking better and better. The CG is next gen, in-game looks like a playable Black Knight cutscene. The islands appear to be going for some classic video game tropes, but with a technological motif running through all of it. Green grassy ruins, a desert, a beach. They just revealed the Volcano Island. Could this be a worthy successor to Flame Core? If Otani's whipping out the 9 string, I can only imagine how heavy those tracks would be. Even the story shows promise. When was the last time we said that? We thought Forces was gonna be the turning point because it looked like they were finally taking themselves seriously again, but no, it was the same kind of writing and dialogue, just in a serious setting, and well, we know how that turned out. Now Ian Flynn has come aboard, new writing and direction is inbound. Roger sounds the best he ever has. I've always said we should be tapping into that man's lower range since that's what he does best, and from what little snippets we've heard, that seems to be what they're doing. The scale of Frontiers is what's really selling me and a lot of other people on it. It really feels like they're trying to make something big again. The file size on Steam is pretty massive. It's probably going to be the first Sonic game in years to have more 3D than 2D. Honestly, worth buying for that prospect alone. And unlike Lost World, where they alienated practically every fan by trying something so radically different after the insane success and acclaim of Generations, no less, it's nice to see them take a step back and go, you know what? Forces didn't go over the best. We're 4 Boost games in. Let's try something new, and more than that, let's try something ambitious that can wow everyone who sees it. Now granted, Boost is returning for cyberspace, and it's looking to be around Force's tier level design, which has everyone worried, but it's also not the focus, clearly. The open zone islands are where the majority of content is going to take place, and so maybe bite-sized linear speed stages will be less offensive and more appropriate when they're playing second fiddle to a sprawling environment with enemies to fight and secrets to find. There is a statistic being tossed around that cyberspace occupies around 1/3 of the whole game's runtime, but even if that's 100% accurate, that's still less than half of the game. That won't excuse mediocrity, but it might not be a deal breaker when it's not the whole adventure. Even if lacking in depth, having these quick thrills to break up the open world might be all that they need to be. So long as they have a good flow and vibe, I don't see nearly as many complaints surfacing as before. Also, considering the stages appear to be around 2 minutes on average, that's roughly 30 cyberspace missions per hour. Didn't they say this was going to be around a 20 to 30 hour campaign? Let's round down and say 21 hours. That would mean 7 hours of cyberspace across 210 levels. Call me crazy, but somehow I doubt that. I imagine they're factoring the multiple objectives into that estimate. We can see there are 4 goals on one of the stages, so at most, you could be doing 4 separate replays of the same act. If we take that 210 and divide it by 4, we're still left with about 51, nearly double the amount of base content Forces had. And that fits in line with the 10 stages per island idea people have thrown around. That's all speculation, of course, but it shows promise. As for the recycling of past levels again, yeah, they're really pushing the envelope on that one. I don't entirely know how to feel about that yet. I know it has to do with Sonic's memories, but so did Generations. We've been down this road before. If there really are a ton of stages, and this is the only way we can get such an abundance, then I'm okay with it. Especially if there ends up being some newcomers in there like the city level. I know it's supposed to be City Escape, or at least a combination of cities, but barring the literal copy and paste level design, it looks new. The aesthetics are spectacular. That one clip on the highway with all the different routes and interconnecting roads stretching to infinity in the background, that's like a Sonic fan's dream. Give us a big area to run around in with a bunch of ways to experience it, and we will give you our money. I am concerned with the overuse of homing attack chains and rail grinding into 3 orange boost rings that send you onto more rails. We've seen a lot of that so far, and in moderation can be a fun supplement to the core gameplay. Dating all the way back to Sonic 1, we had springs, and they've been a staple ever since, but they were never the focus, because they couldn't be. It takes a lot more than a straight line that occasionally branches with rails, rings, and a few enemy chains to make a Sonic level. Those are all the superficial components that create the visual association we have with it, but like any well-established formula, there's so much more to it than that. And I hope the current Sonic team knows that. And if they do know that, but still don't know how to do it right, then maybe the combat will actually save the day after all. Perhaps boost gameplay isn't their strong suit, and the open zone is where their talents lie. Maybe the 3 components of combat, exploration, and cyberspace don't offer much individually, but the synergy they play off of one another makes it all click. That's the ultimate hope anyway, and this is where the predictions hit a brick wall for me because I don't have enough experience in either the open world or hack and slash genre to form a confident, educated guess on how it'll play, nor can I really know for sure until I have it in my hands, but honestly, I'm A-okay with that. You can drive yourself crazy trying to predict and analyze every little piece of info a game gives you before it comes out. Sometimes it's better to just wait and play it at launch with a clear mind. Take it for what it is. It won't be long now. Not even 2 months away. I can't believe it. I still feel like Mania and Forces just came out. Crazy. Well, anyway, I've got a good feeling about Frontiers. It's nice to see this level of ambition again. Even Sakurai himself is enjoying it, so I'm looking forward to it. We shall see in due time. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, don't forget to check out the next episode whenever I post it, which will probably be soon. Alright. See ya.